I am so disappointed that I helped Chuck Schumer in that Georgia runoff.
Yes, good.
Secure a majority. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Wow, good. Well, hopefully you do something about it now.
I'm supporting Trump.
Because?
Let's go.
Because it has to change. It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So
let's talk about the 17% of African American voters who are rejecting Kamala Harris and the Democrats and going with President Trump because they believe that he can actually make an improvement in their daily financial lives. And to paraphrase former President Obama, we don't have a black America, we don't have a white America, we have a broke America right now.
Sabotage afoot in RFK's campaign. His vice presidential candidate, Nicole Shanahan, was out on the Tom Bilyeu Impact Theory podcast. And we already heard her postulate that they may get out of the race. Rumors are saying it might come as soon as this Friday and endorse Trump. Now, they're angling for some sort of position. And I know there's a wide spectrum of opinions on where RFK Jr. might end up. We've thought about Health and Human Services, which would give him jurisdiction over the CDC and other major entities. But maybe that's a little too high up. Maybe you want to just put him in charge of some other agency, which would be like an FDA or a CDC, right? A smaller agency. But I don't know if that's big enough for him. Other people are saying maybe give him a really big spot like the Attorney General or something like that. I don't think I'd go that far because of his positions on the Second Amendment and abortion and certain other issues. But I think FDA, I think CDC stuff, Health and Human Services, he's got a strong track record there. And that might be a nice way for Trump to settle some of the criticisms about Fauci and the jab. But here is something that's very curious. So she's going to explain to us that they were actually infiltrating their campaign. Democratic operatives were infiltrating RFK's campaign. And so if they're doing this to RFK Jr., what do you think they're doing to Trump? Everywhere. How are they undermining his campaign with moles and inside agents? Let's listen to this.
Start this campaign. I did not put in tens of millions of dollars to be a spoiler candidate. I put in tens of $millions to win, to fix this country, to do the right thing. I will say that Clear Choice, this PAC, this DNC aligned PAC that was created specifically to take us out, has spent millions of dollars to take us out. They have unfortunately turned us into a spoiler. And we don't want to be a spoiler. We wanted to win. We wanted a fair shot. The DNC made that impossible for us. They have banned us, shadow banned us, kept us off stages, manipulated polls, used lawfare against us, sued us in every possible state. They've even planted insiders into our campaign to disrupt it and to create actual legal issues for us. I mean, the extent by which the sabotage they've unleashed upon us, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still learning new ways that they have sabotaged us. I really wanted a fair shot this election, and I believed in the America that I, a little girl, pledged an allegiance to. And that is not where we are today. And it's not because the Republican Party taking us out. It is exclusively because of the Democratic Party taking us out. And I am so disappointed I ever helped them. I am so disappointed that I helped Chuck Schumer in that Georgia runoff.
Yes,
good. Secure a majority. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Wow, good. Well, hopefully you do something about it now. You have an opportunity to do something about it. You have an opportunity to really correct that. That was a huge mistake, helping Chuck Schumer get the Senate. Ugh, horrible. And we're not happy about that. But there's a good opportunity now to change the timeline, right? To hop on board, throw all your energy behind the Trump campaign. The Democrats are nasty. They've been doing this for years. They've been prosecuting Trump since he came down that escalator. Fake stories, fake prosecutors, fake charges, all rigged. And now she's oh, yeah. They do that to everybody. Welcome to the party. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming aboard. We're happy to have her. Come on over. Sorry you wrecked the Senate for us, but glad to have you here. Now, Trump got asked about this. Would you consider RFK Jr.? He says, hey, actually, yeah, now that you mention it.
Can I ask you about RFK? Because just moments ago, his running mate said that they were considering endorsing you. Have you considered him for a role in the administration, and what role would that be?
Well, we haven't, but I would love that endorsement because I've always liked him.
Would you also consider putting him in the administration?
You're asking me a very unusual question. I haven't been asked that question yet. I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen.
Wow. I probably would. I think it'd be a good play. It would be very good. Now, obviously, we saw Obama come out and make fun of Trump because they're obsessed with genitals. But Trump said that Obama was actually, I respect him. Seems like a nice guy.
Barack Obama's speech tonight, I cited the fact that in 2020, Obama said that Trump never grew into the role as president. And then I asked him for essentially a pre-buttal of the speech. This is what he said almost a complete complete turnaround of what we have heard him say about former President Obama before.
I like him. I think he's a nice gentleman, but he was very, very weak on trade. If you take a look at what happened to our country trade-wise, it was a disaster. Take a look at Japan, take a look at China, take a look at what happened with some of these countries, what they did. But I happen to like him. I respect him and I respect his wife.
Keelan, I respect him. I respect his wife. Obviously very different from what we've heard from Donald Trump, particularly during his tenure in office, when he repeatedly blamed Obama for a lot of shortcomings in his own office, tried to undermine his legacy, and before that was the biggest promoter of birtherism, essentially saying that Obama wasn't eligible to be president. We have never really heard, at least in modern times, him say that he had some kind of level of respect for him and his wife, but clearly he is shifting his...
They're so out of touch, man. He's not running against Obama. Obama's not a threat to him at all. He doesn't need to hammer Obama. Why would he do that? All he needs to do is go out and hammer Kamala and Biden, the people in charge. And they just can't take it, man. They want Trump to be their caricature of him in their minds. He's not that at all. And they can't even understand his personality engagements, right? How he deals with people. When you have an opponent, you treat them as an opponent. But when they're not your opponent, you can treat them and comment on them as in a different manner, right? Context matters for these types of things. And so it's CNN having a hard time understanding how any of this works. Now, Josh Hawley was out. He is going after Kamala Harris for the terrible border problem. He was on with Fox News yesterday. Let's listen to what Hawley had to say about all this on the campaign.
Too sort of tentative in dealing with them, but we could talk about the economy and the border and all that. More lately, he's been doing that. What do you think?
Listen, I think that Kamala Harris is weak. I think that she is a liberal, and I think that that's the key to the election right there. I mean, if you want the border open, 15 million illegals in this country, if you want them getting amnesty, and if you want to pay for their health care, then Kamala is your candidate. But if you want your children to be safe, if you don't want drugs on our streets, if you want your kids to be able to walk to the bus stop without getting shot, you better vote Trump. I mean, I think that this is an election about really basic choices. Safety or chaos, the border closed or amnesty for 15 million illegals, your family getting ahead or your family ground into poverty. I mean, that's really the choice here. And the choice is clear, I think, for all of those issues, it's got to be Trump.
All right, got to be Trump from Josh Hawley. I think a good clip from him on that. And here was another interesting one. So yeah, this one came out from Defiant L's, which is a fun account. It's Defiant Losses, right? Like you lose and you just keep posting anyways. And so Don Lemon, to his credit, he was out talking to all these people and he posted this, and you can see it is not, I think, the response he was expecting. He says, women on Trump versus Harris in America. Here is what we see.
How are you feeling about the election?
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
Because?
Let's go.
Because it has to change. It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So.
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So
Phony and
like,
fake.
you know, I'm like Trump saying, you know, what are you? You know, so I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her, the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden.
Yeah.
Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
Let's go. Okay. Welcome aboard, man. It's great. Don Lemon having a rough day out there talking to people. And we have Jason Miller, who is a senior advisor for the Trump campaign. He was out there commenting on this, saying, yes, people are just suffering. It's not about racial color and demographics and all this stuff. It's just the dollar doesn't buy as much as it used to. Okay. Groceries are a lot more expensive than they used to be. And things generally feel like they're coming apart at the seams in multiple domains across our society. People can recognize it. They can feel it.
Yeah, quite frankly, Lindsay, I didn't know what Stephanie's voice even sounded like. I mean, she never gave a press briefing during her entire time with the administration. But putting aside the thoughts of a disaffected rogue staffer, if you want to talk about defections, let's talk about the 17% of African-American voters who are rejecting Kamala Harris and the Democrats and going with President Trump because they believe that he can actually make an improvement in their daily financial lives. And to paraphrase former President Obama, we don't have a black America, we don't have a white America, we have a broke America right now. Everybody is suffering under this administration. And
yeah, it is the great equalizer, okay, when everybody's these costs are going through the roof, when fewer and fewer people can have the dream of owning a home and getting ahead, when inflation wrecks savings accounts and so on, people start to respond to that, rightfully so, because it impacts us all. Now, Trump is also saying this. I thought this was a good one. We're going to stay at the forefront of crypto. I think that Kamala Harris has left a lot of free money on the table here, and I think Trump is gobbling it up. And this is the right thing, by the way. This is, I think, going to be important in our future.
Upon taking office, I will do rapid approvals for new energy infrastructure, and we will embrace all forms of energy, including nuclear. Nuclear is a great energy. This plant is making some things that I just got to see, and it's incredible what you've done, what Gary and the family have done. The level of complexity, the level of detail, the power that we're talking about is incredible. To power our country into the future, including the electricity demands of AI and cryptocurrencies.
Amazing.
Which is a very big subject. It's coming up more and more, and we have to stay at the top. We want to be right at the forefront. Otherwise, China and other countries will take it over. That's both of them, AI and crypto.
Yeah.
We will make a historic commitment to bring in advanced, small, modular nuclear reactors online. Building these massive plants that cost $20 billion and don't even get built, like we had recently in a couple of other states. I won't mention the states, but they had 2 plants that got so out of control with cost overruns, massive, massive nuclear plants. No, we're going to do small reactors, small nuclear, we call it. France does that. France does very well with that. They do small, and if they need more, they build a second one, a third one, a fourth one. They hook them up together. With the help of companies like yours, these can be built ultra safe, they're ultra clean, and they're very low cost, but they are absolutely safe.
I think that is such a good idea, and one that we can all benefit from. If we're going to spend $100 billion on anything, how about we don't spend it on Ukraine? Why don't we build a bunch of these nuclear reactors all across America? I was arguing 2 for every state, right? We can have a little competition. Who can build them the fastest and the safest and whatever, make them the most interesting and whatever. And then we all have a benefit from lower energy costs, right? That's a nice subsidy. That's a benefit that we get as Americans. Why shouldn't we get a benefit, a dividend from everything that we contribute? And don't tell me that a dividend for the American people is democracy in Ukraine or something like that. I'm talking about real, tangible benefits for the American people. We pay 50% of our lives into the government, and they just take it all away from us and just dump it into foreign nations. So Trump here is talking about 3 pillars, which I think are critical for our future: energy, AI, and sound currency. In this form, it's crypto. So I love it, and I think that's great. And hopefully more people hear that message, because it's an important one. And stuff like this is actually substantive. It's actually going to build a better future for us, for our families, and our communities.